In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete the gathering information document for your Unit 1 PBA. This document has 3 steps, Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3. I am going to take you through each of the steps. Step 1, take a look at the following issues, decide which one you care about the most. If you care about some equally, choose the one you feel most comfortable talking about. As a teacher, I'm going to choose education. Step 2. Using Ballotpedia, which is like Wikipedia for politicians, research where each candidate stands on the issue that you decided on in the first step. Click on their photo to go to their Ballotpedia page. Summarize the information you find. You can use Command F or Control F to search for your specific issue. You can also see all the issues by searching policy positions. For some issues, you may need to go to the candidate's official campaign website to get more information. I'm going to click on Donald Trump and it will take me to his Ballotpedia page. There is a lot of information, so I'm going to use Control F to search exactly for my issue. I find it here, education. Donald Trump's campaign website says President Trump's proposed budgets have made school choice a priority. The Trump administration successfully implemented the Every Student Succeeds Act. They implemented the year-round distribution of Pell Grants. They brought in financial experts to modernize the way FSA offers their services and student loans. Choose something that you can wrap your head around, that you can understand. I can understand school choice, and I'm interested in what the Every Student Succeeds Act is. So I'm going to copy, Control C or right-click copy, and I'm going to paste here. What I'm doing right now is just gathering information. Then I'm going to go back and dive deeper. Let's look at Joe Biden's page. I'm going to Control F education. It will bring me down to the section on education. Joe Biden's campaign website lists the following 5 education goals. Support our educators by giving them pay and dignity they deserve. Invest in resources for our school so students can grow into physically and emotionally healthy adults and educators can focus on teaching. Ensure that no child's future is determined by their zip code, parents' income, race, or disability. Provide every middle and high school student a path to a successful career. Start investing in our children at birth. I agree with all of those. His website continues, invest in our schools to eliminate the funding gap between white and non-white districts and rich and poor districts. Improve teacher diversity. Make sure children with disabilities have the support to succeed. Create more opportunities for high school students to take practical classes that lead to credentials. I think this is a very good summary of everything that he plans to do. I'm going to paste that here. And then I'm going to go on over to Howie Hawkins and see where he stands on the issues. Education. His website says, educational policy should be made primarily by teachers and parents through locally elected school boards. We don't have school board or elected officials. I would really like, in the education department, I would really like to have teachers and parents be able to pick who's on the school board. I'm going to put that here. I'm going to read a little bit more. Local parents and teachers have more interest in good local schools than top-down administrators. Second, we must end high-stakes testing. That means the state exams. He wants to end state exams, which has reduced education to teaching to the test. It punishes students and teachers in schools in high poverty and school districts simply for being poor. The punishment is often school closures and privatization into charters. High-stakes testing is the front edge of the charter school privatization agenda. High-stakes testing takes away from the many other qualities that should be developed by education, including intellectual self-confidence, creativity, critical thinking, problem-solving, teamwork, tolerance. I definitely think that this is very interesting. We should end high-stakes testing. So he wants to end those state exams because he feels like they take away from all of this creativity and different things you can be teaching kids. So I'm going to put that here. All right, let's see what Jo Jorgensen has to say about education on her page. She says that the Department of Education has failed in the 40 years since the Department of Education was created. Government spending on education has skyrocketed. while the quality of education has declined. Students used to be able to work their way through college and graduate debt-free. As president, I will work to eliminate the Department of Education and return control of education to where it belongs, with parents, teachers, and students. I think that's a very important thing to remember about her. I'm not sure I agree. I think we need a Department of Education to help us organize and keep all the schools to, the same standard. All right, so I have copied and pasted. Now I'm going to just summarize. So President Trump proposed budgets. I'm interested in what the Every Student Succeeds Act is. So I am going to copy. I'm going to paste into Google. Oops. Because I want to read more about this, actually. The first link I have is the .gov. That's a good place to start because that's an official government website. The Every Student Succeeds Act was signed by President Obama on December 10th, 2015. Isn't that interesting? So it seems like implement means that he put it into practice. I think it's important to note that it was actually signed by Obama. So I'm not sure what he has actually done for education. Joe Biden, eliminate the funding gap. So he believes that all schools should have the same funding no matter where they are, because there are some rich neighborhoods who their schools get so much money for cool resources and different materials in the classroom, where different communities and different neighborhoods like ours, maybe we don't get as much money as they do, and that's not fair. All schools should get the same funding. That's what I think. I'm going to put this in bold since this is my summary. Oh yes, Howie Hawkins. So Howie Hawkins wants to end the state exams so schools can be more creative. So I think that is where he stands. That's a summary. She wants to end, Jorgensen wants to end the Department of Education. And for Donald Trump, I would say he wants to give states more control over education. It says here, instead of like the Department of Education deciding everything, he thinks that states should be able to decide. So once I've summarized where each candidate stands on the issue I've chosen of education, I have to decide which person best supports my views. And for me, definitely it's between Joe Biden and Howie Hawkins. The idea of ending state exams is very interesting to me. I would like to know more. But at this point, I think the most important thing to me is that all schools have the same funding, no matter where they are. It's not fair that some schools get more money just because they're in a different neighborhood than our neighborhood in the Bronx. So I am going to support Joe Biden because he supports my views most closely. Joe Biden. Step 3. Your PBA can be a social media post, a text email to family, or a poster you create that encourages people to vote for the candidate you support. Adjust your call to action to your audience. You will write 2 very short sentences. One will tell your viewers who to vote for. One will tell them why. Use your research in step 2 to help you with your why sentence. Here are some examples. Stop gun violence. Tell your parents to vote for Joe Biden. I dream of a college education. Vote Howie Hawkins for president. Ask your family to vote for Joe Jorgensen. End solitary confinement for juveniles. Make medicine affordable. Vote Trump. So I have very short sentences. These are going to be used in your call to action to grab your viewers' attention and to tell them right away what they need to do. So my short sentence saying to vote is probably the easiest because I just have to tell them to vote. Vote for Joe Biden. Done. Now is my why sentence. I'm going to use my research up here. I'm going to look at my summary. All schools should have the same funding no matter what. So really I'd like to say bring funding into our schools. And as I take a look at that, I realize that's too long. It's a long sentence. I want to say something that's short and is going to grab attention. I want to make sure that people know I mean the Bronx as well. When I say our schools, I mean the Bronx. Bring funding into Bronx schools. I can also shorten this to just say fund Bronx schools. fund Bronx schools. So when I use this for my call to action, it's going to let somebody know what they need to do and why they need to do it. And then I'm going to give them a little more information in my call to action to explain things more and to tell them where they can get more information. But there you have it. Step 1, Step 2, and Step 3. If you have any questions, reach out by email and we will get back to you very soon. You're going to do great. Take care.